What's up, everybody? Welcome to RBL Weekly. We are back after a 2-week hiatus, and it is a big episode. Today, we are announcing the date and location for the 2024 RBL World Championship, and we will be announcing and talking to the competitors in that competition. I can't wait. I'm Pat Barker, the commissioner of the Roast Battle League. That, as always, is the host and creator of the Roast Battle, Brian motherfucking Moses. Welcome back.
The Donald Faison to your Zach Braff. It's good to be back. Took 2 weeks off, didn't have to look at the comments. I got to see Malia and John talk about their that battle, that bloody battle. Mm-hmm. And then I got to see Frank grovel and slurp up John Luna. Grovel to and then slurp up John Luna. Yeah.
I try to avoid the comments unless John Ajota is on. Then I gotta see. That dude brings out some strong emotions in people.
And so does Digis. Digis is there in the live. He's in the live chat.
I heard.
He's whipping it up.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. So I love him. He's great. I love the chats. I love the threats of violence. I love the insults to everybody else. I'm a fan of all of it. Can we move on to something else?
Yeah, sure. One last thing about Angel Dust. I was watching that Aaron Hernandez documentary that Ryan Murphy made. Yeah, and he was doing Angel Dust before he was killing people. So
sure.
Shout out to Angel Dust.
Yeah, I feel like
sponsor our show. Sponsor Digits.
I feel like it's a forgotten thing. Like that we're in the ketamine and fentanyl era.
We are. Bring Dust back. Yeah, bring Angel Dust back.
Yeah.
PCP. Let's get wet again.
Yeah, if my dad was still alive, he'd be really upset now that that Angel Dust is not that he didn't do anything like that.
Okay.
But he would just be like, I remember when men were men and they smoked Angel Dust.
Goddamn right.
None of this new shit.
You know what they're doing in Philly now?
What's that?
Your fucking neck of the woods.
Oh boy.
Trank.
What is that?
They're tranking out. I don't know.
Oh, like tranquilizer, like darts?
No. It's like a drug. It's called Trank.
Okay.
Yeah, and it like eats your flesh, and it's supposed to be like a killer high, but it's so toxic it eats your flesh, and people are just like zombies after taking it.
Hey Philly, stop that! Don't do that.
Yeah, Trank.
That's bad. Just get a Yingling and a cheesesteak, and you'll get the same euphoria. I promise. Let's talk about the World Championship because we got guests waiting.
No
we
more
got
drug talk.
And I know. We open every episode by talking about fentanyl, so we immediately get demonetized. It's kind of what we do. I get it. But let's
shout
talk.
out the cartels, man. We're coming for you guys, but leave us alone. We told them not to get you. Anyway, go ahead.
2 weeks off, you're like
I've been reading.
Preparing your Angel Dust bit for the open of the show. I love it.
I just want the cartel to not come after us. They can roast battle with us.
That makes two of us. Yeah. I'd rather be friends with those guys than enemies.
My boy.
Yeah. The World Championship in a land where I don't believe there is a cartel. We briefly considered Venezuela for the World Championship. We decided against it, and we went with London, England, January 26th at the Top Secret Comedy Club in Kingsway. I am so excited for this. I've been wanting to get over to London. They have a great roast battle scene. And after the dominant season they had last year, because we always do the championship in a neutral location, I was like, well, we're never going to be able to do it in London. And then they kind of slipped up this year, and it's like, what better time?
This is the best time. Ellen and her wife are going over there, so we can go over there and maybe get them to judge. A lot of Americans are fleeing to England, so this is a good time for us. Hell of a scene, by the way. Been out there for about 7 years and going out there every year since the pandemic happened. But ever before that, it was the best scene. I mean, it was the highest rated show in Comedy Central Sky Channel history. And man, it's always been like it's kind of broken, I would say, their traditions of being gentlemanly or using their etiquette properly.
Yep. And we've seen some killer battlers from over there. There will be a couple of exhibition battles featuring London's best. I know Shalaka Kurup has been hitting me up trying to get on that. I know there's a few other people who really want to throw down. It's going to kind of be a party for the RBL because it's close enough to Scotland. It's close enough to Barcelona. James Regal, the MVP from Barcelona, already hit me up like, I'm coming. I'll be there regardless. So we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody's over there, like the whole world's over there. So you can get your Ryan Cullens like hanging out. You can get a Helen K. You can get a Ken Grinnell. You can get a we'll talk about who's going to be there later. But I mean, there's a lot of people over in that part of the world that can come and hang out or guest judge, maybe do like a little exhibition battle for us.
Exactly. So if you are in Europe, if you're in the UK, if you want to come to the Roast Battle League World Championship #2. It's January 26th, Top Secret Comedy Club. You can get tickets right now on roastbattleleague.com, by the way. The website has had a major overhaul. Great new merch up there that I'm really excited about. The city-specific designs on the T-shirts are wild. You got to check them out. But that's where you want to go, roastbattleleague.com, punchuplive.com/roastbattleleague. You can also follow the links in our bios on Instagram. With that being said, are you ready to meet the 4 men who will be battling it out for the World Championship?
It's all dudes?
4 people.
Okay.
I misspoke.
Oh, okay.
Or I might have spoken correctly and now I caught myself as a spoiler and now I'm covering it up by being like people. What is sexuality anyway?
Damn right.
Who am I to say what these battlers identify as?
I like that.
They identify as killer roasters and none of it beyond that is my business. Let's get right into it. Let's meet the LA competitor, the LA MVP, the man who will be battling for this city in an effort to win the World Championship and make LA back-to-back world champions. Alexa, please play the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme song for Nate Welch. Nate Welch, the 2024 LA MVP, officially being named right now. The champion, you won the MVP award in a close vote, narrowly edging out Tom Goss and John Luna. You had a lot of shit to say this season. I expect today will be no different. You're going to meet your opponent in the semifinals, potential opponents in the championship. But before we get to the World Championship, let's just speak on the season that you had. You're the LA MVP. You came in, I feel like, kind of an underdog. You opened the season by winning the LA Championship. You defended it throughout the year. This was a surprise to a lot of people, but I feel like not to you.
You goddamn right. Let's see. First words I'll say is, oh, hell yeah. Thank y'all to the voters who voted for me.
Are you sponsored by Liquid Death?
No, I'm just thirsty.
Oh, nice.
All right. So, where I start at. Fuck y'all mean boys. How about that?
Jesus.
Y'all had a lot of shit to say about your boy here. I ain't say a goddamn word except haha. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, so I started this season in the first couple weeks of the season, winning this belt from who? The first ever world champion, Ryan Nesson.
Yep.
Ended his little undefeated streak of however long, which he started undefeated against me for. He started his little streak against me, and I ended it.
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
You are the beginning of his decline. You are when the yips start. I mean,
I gave him the yips by punching him in the mouth with my first fucking joke.
I guess we have to tell everybody, Ryan Nesson won't be defending his reigning world championship.
I mean, I think anybody who's watched this season knew that was coming. It was a rough year for him, but to speak
looking back at it now, it's been rough. But at the beginning of the season, when I battled him, not one person in the goddamn world, except me, thought I had a chance.
All right, Kendrick. All right, nobody congratulated you, but Nas and your fucking Super Bowl.
I'm Wheezy. I'm not Kendrick. Okay,
don't get him started on Lil Wayne.
Don't even get me started on that shit. However, I beat Ryan, and after that, I did the Netflix festival. Y'all want to talk about, Nate didn't do good in Netflix festival. Nate beat Paige Wesley and Patrick DePari and then got fucked over by Chelsea ass handler.
I mean, Nate is here, by the way. We don't have to mention him in third person.
I love this. Don't let him cook.
All
Come
right.
on.
Okay.
But yeah, right. It's been fun, dude. I love this shit so much, and I'm real excited to be able to represent the city.
Yeah.
That I don't look like I'm from.
Because you're not.
Championship.
Or
exactly.
sound, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're maybe the weirdest possible representative for LA.
I like it.
And,
and I beat out Tom Goss. I never got to battle him yet, but I'll defend my belt against him in March. And, or hopefully. And I beat Big John, who was the other guy that was a candidate. Who's got the most points. He's fucking awesome.
Yep.
But in a very close battle, y'all said, from y'all words, one of the best battles y'all seen in the belly room.
I agree. Yep.
And I'm also now tied with Kelsey Lane for the most successful title defenses since this bitch has come out.
Yeah.
Kelsey defended it twice. I've defended it twice.
Fact check.
That is the thing with titles. People win them, and then I think
they lose
all of the effort that goes into winning them, I think it's tough to follow up. The hungrier person is the challenger, but Nate maintained a level of hunger that I have not seen in quite a while. Like, he comes into every battle looking for blood. What were your thoughts on Nate's championship season?
It was like Ryan Nesson's last year, I thought. Almost carbon copy like, but there were bigger names. I would say there's probably more ranked opponents you beat last year. I mean, John Luna had a record-breaking historic season, and you beat him. The pun move is now, it's synonymous with who you are as a person, right? You've brought puns into the game now. It's now you've expanded what the lexicon and what, the verbiage we can use now in roast battle and not be made fun of. That's a big thing, I think, just when you can bend language like that. I've only seen guys like Theo Vaughn, Ian Edwards, and you do that now. In this form, it's different because we were always told not to do it, just from a joke writing and a stand-up structure. But for some reason, with this digital content generation and this roast battle generation, you've really kind of like solidified yourself as, as like, this is a special move you do. And I've never seen anything like that since, I guess, Shalaka last year.
Thanks, dude.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
It's been a hell of a season. Just the names you've whacked out, I guess, like X'd out on murals. You've really taken everybody out. Paige, Ryan, John, everybody except Tom, because Tom, his ascension has been like, the last few months, but it's been a hell of a season. Congratulations. Yeah. I mean, you earned this.
Thank you, dude. And yeah, those are great names to be considered in there with. And I mean, I beat some of the best in all the best in the damn city pretty much up until this point, and now, figure out the rest after. But, I'm like the first time I battled Ryan, I lost. The second time I beat him. First time I battled Julian, I lost. Second time, beat them. First time I battled Big John, I lost. Second time, beat him. So I like my chances against whoever I got in the damn World Championship.
Let's talk about it, because we're going to bring in, your World Championship opponent. But before we get to that, I wanted to go back to something that you teased. I know you wanted me to ask you about the tough times this season.
Yeah.
Mainly because you have a lot of shit to say to a judge at the Netflix festival, and I'll let you do that if you want. But to recap, if we're talking stats, right? I believe 5-0 in the belly room, 1-3 outside of the belly room. Now, the feedback I think a lot of people have is that Nate deserves this. He had the best season. He deserves to win. But if we are talking about who would be the best representative to go over outside of the belly room to another country and represent LA and bring the championship home, that might not be Nate.
Okay.
The road record. I didn't notice that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm well aware.
He had one really rough night at the Netflix festival, and then obviously lost to Andrew Manning at the All-Star game. What are your thoughts on that critique? Is it valid?
I think I understand it. I'll give it some validity if you look at it just like that on the surface. However, if you want to dig a little bit deeper just to look at it, I'm 1-3 outside the belly room. Yeah, I've won my first one against Patrick at the Netflix festival. And then in the same night, I lost back-to-back to Katie Kincaid, a lesbian, battling in front of a parking lot full of lesbians, judged by the queen of bitch lesbians, Chelsea Handler. And that's fine. I'll eat the L. Then I follow it up. 15 minutes later, I got to go out and set it in front of the same lesbians, judged by the same lesbian, and fight Jonna Joda. I don't think I like my chances there neither. They hated both of us, but they hated me a lot more. So I'll eat that L too. I don't think London's going to be full of lesbians. They might have some, but not a whole goddamn parking lot full of them.
I did just say Ellen and Portia DeRosa.
That's true. Fuck.
Ellen, you from New Orleans? Don't fuck me over, okay?
Ellen from New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, she's really
Who
good.
that? But yeah, so that, with the Netflix festival, eat the 2 in one night, whatever. Take it how you want. Mm-hmm. The battle with Andrew in Austin, that was a good battle. Did it go my way? No. Was it my best performance? Probably not. Was I, in a new place doing a new thing? Sure. But now I got to do that, and that made me a lot more, I feel a lot more comfortable doing that again.
Okay.
Now, because that's the first time I ever did roast battle outside of LA. Even for the Netflix festival, y'all call it road game, but it was down the goddamn road.
True, but it was.
So,
I mean, it was a
not in
different
the
crowd.
belly room. Yeah.
I will fact check. I think there were some non-lesbians in the crowd. I just want to be clear about
percentage.
that. Okay.
Small percentage. Some they thems, some fucking transes, whatever. They ain't all lesbians, but you know what I'm saying.
He's just talking about people on stage. Just Gigi and the Wave.
No, yeah, I mean them too, but no, the Wave's got dudes.
Yeah, that's true.
Sushi, but yeah. So, and then like I said, the Mothership battle was a good battle. I kind of wish I would have made a different decision on my jokes. To be honest, like there was one joke that I had in there, and then I just, day of, I decided not to use, and it maybe wouldn't have changed the game, but for me, looking a hindsight 2020,
yeah,
maybe I should have just went with the slur.
Well, hold that thought real.
When in doubt, it's always a fail-safe.
Yeah, and especially in Austin.
That's what I'm saying.
To sit there and be like, should I do this?
Well,
yes.
See, but the thing is, I think it's cheap.
Sure.
I think it's cheap. I think it's an easy move. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I've never had to do it before. Contrary to popular belief, I never had to do it before, And I was like, you know what? I don't need to do it now.
What was it going to be? N-word?
No, F word.
Oh.
Slur in case of emergency. I
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Break in case of emergency.
Hold that thought because I actually want to watch that battle. We're
Okay.
going to watch a few battles on the podcast today with our World Championship competitors. And for the most part, we picked battles from either last season when we didn't have as many fans or like in the off season, things that you might not have seen. But this one you've probably seen, but I think it's worth revisiting. This is from the All-Star game. This is Nate Welch, the LA champion, going up against the newly crowned New York champion, Andrew Manning. Here it is.
That's why we're doing it. Who's going first?
I got it.
Oh shit. LA, New York. Let's roll!
Hell yeah. Y'all make some noise for my opponent, Chris Quesadilla. Andrew loves UFC. Underage fat chicks.
Saltwater fatty. Nate, you chubby racist. You must be the thick blue line. Nate's favorite part of a cross burning is getting to toast marshmallows.
You can see
That was a good one, Harry Potter and the motherfucker that don't get no Azkaban. Despite that dumbass mustache, Andrew don't actually date rape bitches. They always say no to the date, so he just be raping them.
You didn't use a slur, but you fit rape 3 times into one.
Harry Potter, Grand Wizard.
Pretty good.
So,
I don't know magic.
Cracked himself up with that one.
Derek shoving food in his mouth. Nate looks like a cop who treats porn like his body cam. As soon as he sees a black guy, he turns that shit off.
That was a good one, the Alex Trebek shots. I'm just kidding. The only time Andrew hits bitches from the back is with blunt objects.
it's pretty close right now.
Yeah.
It's good to be here with the henchman who starts fighting Batman.
It's the back.
The only gender reassignment procedure Nate believes in is hanging truck nuts on a fan boat.
That's funny. That's
Ooh,
funny.
look at me, I'm Andrew. I went to private school and read books. Fucking. Andrew told me he likes plays and musicals and shit. He told me his favorite's the sound of gay-ass music.
That's a very good shirt you're wearing. I'm glad you wore your nice wrestling shirt.
Bought it just for this, dude.
You kind of look like him, except you'd be Cold Stone Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
You hated that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You would be Colonel Flanders.
Nate does watch UFC. He especially watches the women's matches, partly because he's obsessed with hitting them, but mostly he just likes to support other dangerous people with tits.
That was a good one, Wayne's World of Warcraft. Andrew looked like he built his own sex robot just so he could kiss it goodnight on the forehead.
Shout out Autoblock.
Very nice. American History XL.
Double XL, Playboy.
That's right. Nate looks so racist, he would call the cops on a minority he's dragging behind his truck. Yeah, officer, there's a black guy following me.
That tag is incredible.
I bang black chicks. You like you bang black dudes and eat them.
Hey, New York, Los Angeles. That's Nate Welch.
So there it was, Nate Welch versus Andrew Manning from the All-Star game. Reliving that battle, what were your main takeaways?
Man, my main takeaways were that was a fun-ass battle.
Yeah.
Andrew was one of the best in the game, one of the best, in the world. Him and John Jota are both fucking savages, and he just beat John Jota, took his belt. So, I mean, you got to give all credit to the dude for being awesome. In that battle, I thought in the beginning, the first couple jokes, I think we was going lick for fucking lick. I thought I even had him a little bit, but I lost it whenever I went with I told you I made a decision, and I went with the sound of gay-ass music.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike Eaton. Great intel. I'm like, which joke you think I should use in Austin? And he's like, dude, the sound of gay-ass music gonna fucking murder.
Was the alternate version, was the slur the same joke except with F instead of...
It was similar but different.
Okay.
It just had the F word as not fuck.
Yeah.
As the punch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it'll crush in Austin, but it's a little cheap. Mm-hmm. But had I known that one of the best in the game, one of the best writers, one of the best roast battlers would have went cheap too, maybe I should have just did it.
Ooh.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, what's cheap though? Do you mean the line where
Cold Stone Steve Austin
and then
American History XL?
There you go.
And no shade. I'm just saying those two were good licks in the room.
Yeah.
But for somebody that's pegged as one of the best writers, most original, that felt kind of cheap.
You're saying you could have went low too.
I could have went low too. Maybe I should have, but hindsight, call it what you will. Still a great battle in my opinion. Still fun.
Yeah. I always hate getting into the debate of like somebody did a joke that was like similar. But let me just say this, because there's too many like parallel thinking and like gray areas and everything. The one I will say is that every week on this podcast we talk about retiring certain jokes and putting them up in the rafters, and American History XL is like number one on that list. Every time. Yeah. So I'm not saying people need to watch us every week, but there will be a thing, I think, as this thing continues to grow in popularity, where people are going to be like, oh, you're expected to know certain ones. That being said, my logic in the room was, because I've heard both of those jokes, but I removed them from the thing, and I still thought, just on the jokes,
agree.
I thought he got you. I stand by that.
Yeah, and I agree.
Okay, and but that is definitely something that I know you were upset about, in the moment, and I get it. Looking back, if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, those were two pretty big pops, and I didn't feel like they were original. So I understand that.
In Andrew's defense, though, I mean, like those were more asides than I think like things he wrote down. I
agree.
Yeah, the Cold Stone, the Stone Cold,
Cold Stone Steam Creamery.
Yeah,
Cold
I think
Stone,
that
Steve
was just
Autism, whatever.
You don't look like him because you had the shirt on. Basically, I think he's just kind of riffing, and then even the American XL, I think was also saying like he's just riffing. So I don't think those are things he wrote down. I think it's just in the room. It's like everybody does lemon pepper wet. They might do it as well as like as ATL does, but people always do it. So like you can always sprinkle a little bit of lemon pepper on it. It may not be as good as the original, but people can do it. Yeah,
and I agree. And I ain't say, like I said, no shade. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that.
Sure.
Because like in my first battle I did in 2019, I heard the Cold Stone Steve Austin. I've heard it 7 times since then. Yeah. It's on one of my videos. It's on like my Instagram. Yeah. It's a big one, But other than that, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It happened. It's over. If I ever get my get back, I like the opportunity for that.
Well,
I'm sorry. Before you dive in, also there's a judge who may not have seen the show before. That may have influenced the judge. So I can totally get where you're coming from. Saying. If it's like, oh, this guy's never seen the show before, and now it's like I'm seeing this new guy I like, and he's also using jokes that are killing in the room that he may not have heard before that we've heard to death. That could also sway a judge's opinion. So I get what he's saying.
I get it.
And also, what are both of those jokes that I talked about, Cold Stone Steve Austin and American History XL, what do y'all call them?
Oh, those puns?
They call them puns.
Yeah. You've unleashed the monster. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody, you might have to,
Oh, okay. I'll go lick for lick with your son.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who wants to try to out-pun Nate Welch.
Pun for pun.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's a wise idea. Well, you
one
said
pun man.
If I ever get my get back, what was that? I missed it.
So one pun man, like one punch man.
You said if I ever get my get back, and I know when you said that, you knew that you will be getting your get back. You alluded to earlier how you are an expert in rematches, avenging losses, and you will have that that opportunity at the World Championship to avenge the loss we just saw, because the New York MVP, as voted by his peers, both in New York and around the world, Andrew Manning joins us now. Andrew Manning, welcome to the program. First of all, I'm going to give you and Nate a little bit of time to hash out maybe your differences on that battle, give your opinions, but just in a broad sense, you won, in my opinion, the most closely contested MVP race of the 4 major cities. There were cases to be made for John Ajota, for Malia Simon, for a few others, and Andrew Manning came out on top, undefeated season, second straight undefeated RBL season. You've never lost a battle in the Roast Battle League. Congratulations. How does it feel to be the best in New York?
Well, thanks for the kind words. I mean, it feels like good to have those kinds of, words, put on me, but yeah, like you said, it was really closely contested. There were a bunch of other people that could have gotten it over me, and I was kind of prepared for that to happen. I'm pleased that I got more votes. So, again, like Nate said, thanks to the people that voted for me, and thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man. And, just on a personal level, I'm really excited that you're getting to do this, because I know you're a guy who's been doing stand-up for a while and has put in a lot of work and, was doing roast battles, a long time ago. You've been in this game, both stand-up and roast battle, for a while. I thought it was great the first time you came over to the mothership. The first time you get to be on that stage, you absolutely crushed it against Spaghetti Jake. 2 months later, we have you back for the All-Star game. You absolutely crush it there. I don't know if this is going to be your first time doing comedy overseas, but this is a big opportunity. So just, I don't even have a question here. I just want to say congratulations to somebody who's been grinding a long time and deserves this look.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I've been doing roasts almost as long as I've been doing stand-up, which I started stand-up in like 2014. So yeah, it's neat. This is a huge, cool opportunity. Doing stand-up overseas is or doing comedy overseas. I know it's a roast battle, but that's something that not everybody gets to do. So I feel very lucky to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Moses, you were on record in our last episode of the season when we played Andrew Manning versus John Ajota. You were on record, Manning's the guy. He's got to be the guy. The narrative the entire season towards the end was that it would come down to Manning versus Ajota. What did you see from him this season that made him the guy for you?
I think ending last season, he had a good note, and we're like, oh, who's this guy? And then coming into this season, the performance he had against Spaghetti Jake, some of the performances he had to get on the countdown, the fact that he stayed, remained undefeated, and then beat everybody that they put in front of him.
Yeah.
He beats Asker, he beats Malia, he beats John Ajota. It's kind of like Nate over here in LA. He beat all the big dogs, so it's obviously it's well earned and well deserved. But I think overcoming Ajota's big moments he had. I mean, because we were talking to Ajota all season. It kind of overlooked and overshadowed what Andrew was doing all season. Him remaining undefeated and and just having better jokes, and then making John Ajota look mortal.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a little bit of a Tim Duncan thing, right? There's flashier battlers. There's, Tim Duncan's playing at the same time as Kobe and then LeBron and everything, and everybody talks about them, and you look up at the end, and Duncan's got 5 rings,
right.
And he's one of the top 10 players of all time. He just goes out there, goes about his business, and wins battles. Yeah,
and he's already beat Nate, so he kind of understands the blueprint to beat Nate. So, he's going overseas now, and it's fun to see a guy who's never been overseas to do stand up overseas. It's fun to see the communities kind of melding together, and they're going to embrace Andrew and the other guys that we have going out there. Nate, have you ever been to London?
I ain't been out the country, son.
So this is insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we're bringing immigrants over to London, and we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be great. And seeing the way Denver responded to Shalaka and Ryan last season, makes me excited to see how these guys will translate overseas. Andrew, I guess that would be a good question for you. Do you have any trepidation about that? Do you have any plans to alter your style at all? Are you looking into British shit, or are you just going to go out there and do what you do?
What's trepidation?
I think for the most part, I'm going to try and just do what I do, which is kind of be the Tim Duncan boring guy and then just win. Anyway, but no, I'll consider different cultural references and stuff. I mean, people watch American shit the world over, so it probably won't be too big of a deal to like consider, oh, will they get this reference or not? But yeah, it'll be on the back of my mind for sure with writing.
Well, I think that just based on his record, here's what I would say, and how difficult he can be to attack and come up with angles on. I think if somebody were laying Vegas odds for this thing, without spoiling who the other two people are, I think Andrew Manning would go into this as the favorite. I really do, based on the record and everything like that. Nate, I see you nodding. You agree with that?
I agree 100%.
Is that just because you're trying to make yourself the underdog, or
No, because look at his fucking record. You just said he's undefeated this whole season. I think you just said he's undefeated the whole RBL 2 seasons or whatever.
Yep,
Never
correct.
lost.
Hey, that's awesome. He's undefeated. He ain't lost. Who the fuck? He's gonna be the favorite until he does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
He's one of the best. He's also a lot like Ryan Nesson because Ryan was undefeated going into the World Championship.
Yep.
Ryan's one of the best writers. Andrew's one of the best writers of jokes. Y'all
Agreed.
calling him boring. He's one of the best pure writers.
Oh, I don't
He
mean
might
it
not
as an
have
insult.
no. He's one of the best writers, and he's got a great defense because he's hard to write about.
Yeah.
He's not fat. He's not transgender. He's not whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a two-way player, you're saying?
Exactly. But I like my chances about doing what I did to Ryan, which is beating him with flavor.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's jump into that. Andrew, you just watched the rematch at the All-Star game. You heard what Nate had to say about a couple of your little asides and everything like that. Now you hear Nate saying that he thinks he can beat you with flavor. What are your thoughts watching that battle back, and strategically, what might you do differently against Nate this time around? You don't have to tip your hand too much. Just give me the rundown.
Like I would guess chubby racist.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the go-tos for sure. Is chubby racist? No, but I was listening to the whole podcast, and so I heard everything that you had to say, Nate, and I think a lot of it was legit, but I do have a question for you. I'm just unsure on one thing. Do you or do you not have something against Chelsea Handler?
Well, let me just set the record straight for you guys. I got 3 words for you. Fuck that bitch. Yeah, I hate her.
Okay, record is straight.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I'm
Yeah.
dating Chelsea Handler openly. So
Well, just so you know, if Chelsea Handler was to get jumped by a 6'7" drag queen named Gigi the Bussy,
Oh,
oh, you're okay with
I
that?
had nothing to
immediately
do with
turned
it.
to that. I don't know
nothing-
where this is going.
I
I
had
don't care for
nothing to
this
do
at all.
with it. I would never put my hands on a woman, but I might give a woman money to beat up a woman. That's fair.
Old school.
Supporting female-owned business.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think? Do you think number one? Do you think you won that battle at the mothership? Do you think that was a well-deserved win?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
Okay,
asking
mate.
him.
I know.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Andrew. What were your thoughts watching it back?
Like you all said, it was very close. So I know that roast battles can go either way, especially when it's close, but I've seen more lopsided battles go a direction that people wouldn't expect it. So I was ready for it to go either way, but looking back on it, I'm obviously content with how it went, but I'm aware it could have gone either way. And obviously Nate does have more style and flair, so that could be, he said in a monotone voice. But yeah, that's very attractive to a lot of people, and everybody knows that the British are known for their very flavorful, eccentric like humor. They're not into the dry stuff, so I think Nate's really gonna flourish.
I gotta do my homework. I have no
Yeah, I was
idea.
gonna say
gotta
you
do
might want to
something,
Google.
brother.
Oh,
London.
you saying they like Andrew's people better?
No, I will say this to both of you. They love American
Comedians?
culture. They do
We'll
love.
talk about that on another podcast, player. Don't think I just do roast battles. You know I'm a funny motherfucker on the regular stage too, right?
Well, you guys can do stand up out there too. I mean, it's a whole community of stand up comedy out there, comedians. Anyway, they love American culture, so American references they will get. I wouldn't keep it strictly to British references. If anything, they hate their own culture. So if they get what you guys are talking about, they'll feel impressed with themselves. It's just like, oh, I know what that is. Oh, I love that kind of a thing. Like they love, like we have we'll talk later. There's some other guys here that are coming up on the show, but yeah, the Brits they slurp up American culture more than I would have anticipated. I was ready to go in there being like, you guys like The Office, huh? Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant. They're like, boo. Talk about Friends. Talk about Martin.
Yeah, so you heard it here first. If you have any good Martin jokes, Andrew, this battle is the time to do them.
Yeah. King of Queens.
So before I throw, because I do want to watch a battle of yours, two things real quick. Number one, would you be willing to right now on camera guarantee a world championship victory?
Ooh.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bulletin
What
board
do I have
material.
to lose? Yeah, definitely. 2 thumbs way up. No, I hope it goes my way for the sake of this being dramatic. Fuck yeah, this is going to Andrew. All right.
I love it.
That's crazy because now if you lose, because they still have that monarchy thing out there. The king beheads you.
Yes.
I would have it no other way if I lose. I will do it myself if they don't.
That's a man. That's a man of honor right there.
That's American shit right there.
Okay, so we have it on record. He guaranteed victory. When is the last time you lost a battle, RBL season or otherwise?
To be honest with you, I'm not trying to be cocky. I do not remember.
Wow.
That is probably just because I have a bad memory.
Okay, well, that's very humble of you. We're going to watch a battle right now, and this is actually from the off-season, so we never saw this battle. Spoiler alert, it's another Andrew Manning win, but it's a lot of fun. This is one he did at Grove 34 during the off-season against Luke Davis. Let's check it out.
Give it up right now for Luke Davis and Andrew Manning! Hey, who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Luke's going first. 5 jumps. Let's roast.
Guys, give it up one more time for Andrew Manning, my opponent. Give it up, please. Andrew, if you're here, who's in that van with all the computers helping the protagonist with the casino heist? No, I'm just kidding. The only time he ever did anything like that was when he helped all those guys break into the Capitol.
Guys, come on. Keep it going for Luke. Look at her. She's had a hard life. Remember? Yeah. Before you get going, Luke, yes, I have heard the good news about Jesus Christ. It's funny you look like a youth pastor because you also look like Jesus if he could turn water into natty light.
This is true. This is entirely true. On the bio that Andrew sent me, he said one of his deepest regrets is, quote, passing up on like so much sex because he's afraid to make the first move. Andrew, if you want to fuck, you gotta make the first move because these girls are unconscious.
That's really good. Also, what an insane thing to put on your info sheet.
I did say that. Why did I say that? It's true, I passed up on a lot of pussy. For me. Yeah. Luke doesn't have a great relationship with his mother. That's something you put in your bio there, young man. I assume he doesn't have a great relationship with his mother because he keeps on stealing her volumizing shampoo.
She hates that.
That bitch has split ends. Andrew, he's actually lost. He looks good. He's lost a lot of weight. It used to be fat, which he blames on video games. Oh yeah, what video games were those, Andrew? The ones where you eat a bunch of cheeseburgers in real life? Do you even know what video games are? Here's my impression, Andrew, talking about video games with his friends. Guys, remember GoldenEye? Yeah, all those nights staying up late, just eating ice cream alone in the dark.
All right.
Luke, you impatient trans barista. Luke used to live with an old Chinese lady. He gave her English lessons in exchange for her hair and body.
like to call him Andrew Man? Question mark. This is a question that has confounded doctors for nearly 3 decades. One doctor tried to answer it by prescribing you testosterone. He takes testosterone. Andrew, you can take testosterone supplements and lie about being a man all you want, but to slightly misquote the great Shakira, birthing hips don't lie. Take off those ice cream cone-shaped jeans and show us your pussy.
Very long. Hey, I'll do that. There you go.
It's a good punch.
That joke didn't do very well. It's interesting because don't you normally tie your hair up before sucking dick?
Damn.
Vietnam War protester, National Guardsman about to make history. No, it is good to be here with Luke before he is inevitably killed in a rock climbing accident.
Okay, last joke.
Andrew Manning is his name. It's also what a retarded guy says when he watches Andrew take his testosterone supplements. Andrew Manning!
Luke, you oversized child. Luke is actually named Luther Joshua Davis IV. All that name just for his uncles to call him Pussy Boy.
All that name just for his uncles to call him Pussy Boy.
Amazing. There it was. Andrew Manning doing what Andrew Manning does best, beating the shit out of an opponent. A lot of fun, that battle. You did it, man. You keep doing it. You're going to be doing it at the World Championship. You're going to be trying to bring the belt home for New York. I appreciate you jumping on and doing this today. And I think I speak for everybody in the Roast Battle League community. We're very excited to see what you do in England.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on here. Thank you all.
Of course. If you don't mind, hang on for another minute because we have to introduce our last 2 competitors. And we have one of them joining us live today, another one who was unable to make it. Let's go to the guy who is here with us. Not only is here, woke up at 4 a.m. because I gave him the wrong time zone, then had to wake up again at 5 a.m., then had to sit here for an hour while we figured out technical stuff and talk to Andrew and Nate. He's exhausted, but he loves Roast Battle. There's nothing he'd rather be doing, I'm sure, except for sleeping. It is early morning over in Tokyo, the land of the rising sun, and we are going to talk to the Tokyo MVP, Jay Yamaki. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey guys, thank you for that rapturous round of applause.
Congratulations! This is
Thank you.
this is very well deserved. You put in a lot of work for this. How does it feel?
Feels great, man. Like when I was, as you know, I was sending you messages going like, oh, I'm just looking forward to like when the MVP is going to be announced. Oh, it'll be fun. Yeah, don't worry. I'm not really kind of like hinting if you can say anything about whether you... And you were like, yeah, all right, shut up, Jay. And then when it was finally announced, it was like just this huge wave of relief and then fear.
Where'd the fear come from, Jay? Where did the fear come from? Because you're going back to England where they kicked you out?
Well, no, I didn't realize we were going to the UK at that point. And then you guys announced it, and I was like, yeah, way. Get to go back to a place that I used to live in. Way. That'll be fun. I haven't done that in a while. But because of the sort of fear in the sense of, it's been such a strong season, right? Like, just everyone has been, especially in America. Well, especially my opponent, who I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention.
Hold off for a second.
Will do. He's had a very good season as well, and he's been getting better and better and better. So the fact that I'm going to be going against him when he's on a rise, and I'm kind of like, I'm a solid 3rd place. I can accept that. So it's kind of, you've got all these like huge, like fucking Nate, huge fan of Nate, the pun guy. Guy's so fucking good at puns that people associate puns with him. And like Andrew, he's watching him all season, just killing it, despite having no personality. How do you do that? Like, that's just so. It's just So it's fear in that sense, but I'm really excited as well.
Well, you're going up against great opponents for sure. You don't make it to the World Championship without being really good at this. But let's really quickly run through your season. 4-2 record, but the only 2 losses were our battle, which certainly could have gone either way, and then Shalaka Corrupt, which I think a lot of people say they thought you got that battle. Shalaka, of course, coming off of her legendary season, and she came into Tokyo, and a lot of people think that you beat her. A lot of people think that you might have a case to be 6-0 this season. Of those 6 battles, 5 ended up on the countdown. Damn. Nobody expected Tokyo to win that division except for maybe Tokyo. And Jay put more points on the board and won more battles, and he basically led the charge. You dragged Tokyo across the finish line, I feel like. So don't sell yourself too short. I won't allow you to do it.
You're talking to a British guy, so we're not allowed to feel any sense of joy. That's why you woke me up at 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. I was like, it's kind of nostalgic to feel like this. But thank you though for the comment. I do really appreciate it. It does mean a lot, even though my expression probably implies otherwise. It's been a like emotionally difficult season, as it always is with roast battle, because you're really putting yourself out there. And you kind of like, look, these are my jokes, laugh. And normally we do that when we do that with comedy. You can practice them and everything, but with roast battle, it's just, okay, here's my shit, hope it lands. So it's been stressful, but it's been worth the stress because it's so much fun insulting people in hilariously creative ways.
Absolutely. I did want to ask you about that. You are British. You did comedy in England. When we internally decided London, we were so excited. And then I know when I went to you were kind of like, it was underwhelming, I feel like, a little bit. Because it's like, oh, great, I get to go to a place that I've already been. Which is so funny to me because London is so cool. And then last year you look at like Shalaka and Ryan and they're like, I get to go to Bass Pro Shops? Like, if you had it your way, I'm sure you would have rather gone to some hillbilly town in America. Is that accurate?
Oh, yeah, 100%, man. Like, I think if I was in America as well, having the accent, I think that would give me a slight advantage. But being in London, it's just, I'm just 10 a penny, as we'd say over here. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're basically Andrew Manning.
We're both dressed like polite skateboarders, so
Yeah, what is this, by the way? This beanie thing that going on?
Yeah,
with roast battlers.
I was gonna ask why they both dress like deckhands.
You say deckhands or dickheads?
Deckhands, like on a shrimp boat.
Dickheads too. They're definitely.
That's a very
Also
New
dickheads.
Orleans thing. He had a shrimp boat reference ready to go.
I'm sorry. Well, you just said hillbilly fucking redneck towns and shit. I mean, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, we know.
Shrimp boat.
Hey,
but
Jay, you look like a stand-in for the Ali G show.
Oh, Jay.
Jay does.
like the guy who runs the cables on the set.
So you don't think that being in London, because we always try to choose a neutral location for the championship, and London didn't make the playoffs this year, but in a way, I think people could argue that it would be a home field advantage for you, but you don't feel that way.
Not at all, not at all. I mean, the thing about being in Japan, and like a lot of my opponents are from America, I think doing the kind of the quirky British kind of thing is, it contrasts more. And the audience isn't necessarily used to that. It's an international audience. But in the UK, we love a good accent. So, like the equivalent if I went to the US with my accent, it was that kind of thing with, especially Nate, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's go.
And Nate was there. He's over
With
there
that
screaming.
kind of charming kind of, backwater kind of impression.
Love it.
Did you have a question for Jay?
No, I was gonna ask why he was dressed like a deckhand.
Off air, he's like, I got a question for Jay. I thought it was a real one. It was just the deckhand thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, Nate, you were saying like, I'm representing LA and I don't look like I'm from LA. I'm fucking representing Japan, man.
True. True. That's fucking
You know how
hilarious.
disappointed they're going to be when it's like, oh, the guy representing Japan, and then I step out.
That's going to be
Yeah,
so
you're
funny.
like Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's a fucking great. Don't leave him hanging. He wants to, there you go.
I didn't see it.
What does it mean? What does it mean to represent Tokyo? I know how much you guys care about the league. You guys really worked hard to win this thing, and I'm sure it was like a big moment internally amongst Roast Battle Tokyo when you guys won. What did that mean for you guys to win this division?
Well, it's, being the kind of the little guys, you get, you big guys being like, Tokyo, what can they do? But we absolutely love Roast Battle over here. So to be able to kind of like prove that we've got Troy Lewis, we've got Bill Miller, we had Harry Metcalf, we've got Mike Paxman. We've got some great battlers. We've got Julia Collins. She's coming up. She's fantastic. There's a whole bunch of people over here that whose names deserve to be on the podcast, I feel. So the fact that we've managed to kind of pull it out of the bag this time, with the help of LA, admittedly, but still, if we hadn't have put up our side, then those battles wouldn't have gone on the podcast. So to be able to put our names out there is a good feeling, man. It's a real good feeling.
Absolutely.
It's very cool. You know what I mean? It's, the same thing we're talking about with Andrew. It's like he can now go over to, London or the UK and do some stand-up because, he's getting a trip over there. Same thing with Jay. Or even if Andrew went to Tokyo, it's like, oh, now I can do stand-up in Tokyo now because I do roast battle. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at it as like a disadvantage of like, we're just doing roast battle. It's like, no, you get to go do comedy in these places. So it's like, it's cool. You get to go spread your seat a little bit.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited for that kind of part too. I've never been outside the country, and London's one of the places I would love to go.
Yeah, dude,
so
go anchor, baby. Go get some girl pregnant and stay over there.
I'm gonna.
My boy.
You got to get to Tokyo. I gotta see that.
Yeah, me and Digits are gonna come to Tokyo 2025.
I gotta see. Not even
Build that wall. Build the wall now, Tokyo.
All right, well let's watch a battle of Jay's right now, and this was a battle. When we battled, I went back and watched all your stuff. A lot of Roast Battle Tokyo is not public online, but I have the internal database, so I went through every Jay Yamaki battle, and this was my favorite. Other than the Paige Wesley one, which we've all seen a million times, legendary. This was my favorite Jay Yamaki one against a guy that didn't battle this season, and I hope he comes back next year, Evans Moka. Who is one of my favorite battlers from Japan. Without further ado, let's check this out. Jay Yamaki, Evans Moka from last season. Here it is.
He sounds like an actual Japanese guy.
No.
Masoka?
No.
Sounds like a Brazilian skateboard.
Oh,
He's African.
I do not leave the intros in usually, but I had to.
That one's coming in hot, dog.
Amazing.
I'm so fucking psyched for this battle. Let's hear it, guys. Battle! Evans! Jay! Let's roast!
Okay, so here's a traditional Maasai dance from Kenya. Also the same impression of Evans trying to look at the top shelf of his fridge.
Jay's a good friend of mine. He thinks he looks like Jesus. I mean, I agree. The only thing that shouts more Jesus is you not knowing who your real father is.
I like them. I mean, I said this before, so apologies to guys if you've already heard it, but I don't mind being called Jesus. It just means I'm well hung. Kind of like your ancestors after the British invaded.
Let's go.
But anyway, so Evans came to Japan from Kenya because he wanted maids instead of AIDS.
I got both now.
And for those of you who want to know what he looked like before he came to Japan, I brought this life-size replica.
Yamaki, using all the tricks in the bag.
Yeah. You jerking off the mic stand?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making it hot.
Jay supports the Ukraine in the war. You can tell from his yellow teeth and blue eyes.
Short and sweet.
Really good.
He's trying to change his blue passport because since marrying a Japanese wife, his passport matches his balls.
You ball joke.
Yep.
Thank you, Evans. That leads me nicely into my next joke, which is, hey, okay. Thanks, JJ. So, Evans teaches English, which is probably the most offensive thing you'll hear all night. I mean, I could leave it there, honestly, but I mean, you're supposed to, like, when you teach English in this country, you're supposed to get a degree. You're supposed to go through university, not UNICEF.
Damn. Yamaki's on fire.
Yeah, dude. They're both on fire this battle.
$1 a day, guys. Just $1 a day to keep me alive. Please, $1 a day, please. I haven't eaten Jay's wife for 2 weeks. Okay? Jay is actually married, guys. Yeah, and he's a white man married to a Japanese. Coming from a fucked up third world country and I'm not married to a Japanese, I made it, guys. He's worse than me, you know. But, you know, Jay tells everyone that he has OCD. What the fuck is that, man? OCD. I had to confirm. I had to talk to the wife because, you know, Jay's kid is black, so you know what I mean. I asked the wife, what does OCD mean? And say, no. Actually, Jay doesn't have OCD. He has a HSD. I'm like, what the fuck is HSD? She was like, Hontonis Morodik.
I'm sure that is hilarious.
Horribly small dick?
Is that what he said? Horribly small?
Horribly small dick.
Oh, I didn't catch that at all.
So, I mean, Kenya is an independent country now. Hey! In fact, I mean, the only part of Kenya where white still dominates black is Evan's teeth on his face. You look like you escaped Africa by biting through your chains.
Oh my God.
Damn!
Jay works. He used to work as a translator for adult films. Reason why we stopped watching Japanese porn, you know what I mean? Yeah, Jay. Oh my goodness, this is bad, Jay. Sorry. Jay has done a lot of good work. If you want to see some of his work, just go to Pornhub and type 2 black men destroying a tiny Japanese woman, and you'll see me and Troy fucking Jay's wife.
Oh! Damn. It's funny because we know who Troy is.
I know who Troy is.
Thank you, the tokens. I didn't know you could read. Well done. The last time Evans performed oral sex in Japan, he was arrested. Because over here, it's illegal to perform female genital mutilation.
Shit.
If you want to know what it looked like, here's the perspective from the vagina.
Damn, Yamaki.
That's insane.
Damn.
That's a good one, eh? That's a good one. Jay tries to be Japanese so hard. He's called Jay Yamaki. Right? Bullshit. Took his wife's name, his wife's visa. Like, Jay... this is a bad one again. I'm sorry, Jay. No, I forgot that joke, guys.
Come on, Evans.
One more time. Jay took his wife's name, his wife's diet, which means he cut out all the carbs, he cut out all the sugar, and every Friday he cuts his hands when he bombs at a comedy show.
Yeah, Evans teaches English, guys.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen!
Honestly, great battle. I feel like around joke 4, like Evan's edibles kicked in because he was like he was stumbling through those last 2, but like really, really strong stuff from both of them.
I mean, Yamaki opened up the colonizer playbook from like 1539 and was like, "All right, I know what we got to do." You were in rare form, Jay. I'd never seen you get down like that. You really went for like every polarizing subject about an African.
Well, the reason for that is that we'd just been told that, or like a few weeks before, we'd been told that Pat and Paige and everyone was coming to Japan, and I hadn't really battled like main character, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go hard on this if I want to get on that battle against Paige or someone. So yeah, I did it. I mean, I had to address the African elephant in the room.
Well, most elephants are African.
Yeah.
So.
I like the strategy. If I want to get Paige, first I have to beat the guy most likely to date her.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're talking about elephants in the room. That is Paige.
No, that was the first time I remember you really jumping out and people being like, "Oh my God, both of these guys are going to be a problem." And just the way you did everything, like you made props work in a roast battle,
dude. Yeah.
Which I've never seen. Great jokes, great rebuttals. You had physical act outs. You were jumping up and down all over the place. You're like,
but that's such a great callback to the dance. Oh my God, it was like 4chan's greatest hits. It was so good, dude. It was so just explosive. It was really well done.
He looked like he was having so much fun in that fucking battle too.
Yeah.
So that was like a big thing from what I observed from it. Like you looked like you were crushing, obviously, but you looked like you were having so much fun.
That's a really good observation because Andrew, I feel like, is pretty,
locked in.
Locked in is a great way to put it. Nate, I know, is a big character, but also his defense is a little bit more like, nah, I think that shit sucked. You know what I mean? And then you have Jay and his opponent, who we'll get to in a moment, who are two of the guys in the league who seem to have the most fun at all times. Is that a strategic thing where you're like, I have to look like I'm having fun, or are you just legitimately having the time of your life up there?
Yeah, you look like Eric Clapton in 1971 laughing at Peter Tosh for getting deported out of the country. It's a really deep cut.
Yeah, I don't get that reference at all.
Oh yeah,
the white guys are like, Eric Clapton, what the fuck?
You remember Eric Clapton? Yeah, he hated any immigrant that was coming into the UK in like the 1970s.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys know Eric Clapton, Peter Tosh history.
Eric Clapton cheeks.
Speaking of the edibles kicking in.
Sorry, yeah. Peter Tosh, yeah.
No,
but is that an act, or are you just having fun up there?
No, it's I'm having fun. There's only been 2 battles I've had which weren't fun, and you're just like, what am I doing this for then? Because it's so ridiculous, the idea that you're going on stage and there's a person that you like and you're just saying shit about them. It's such a weird thing. So it's like, why not just have fun? And if you end up losing, then it's like, well, had fun, so who cares?
Ooh. That's a quote.
100%.
Yeah. That's a hell of a quote. Because like, this is a weird thing you're doing. You are kind of like, backhanded complimenting your way, through a friendship, right, with somebody. Like, you have to kind of talk a little bit of shit, be a little insulting. So, like, if you're not having fun, then it does feel like you're doing this on purpose to really hurt that person's feelings. Yeah. So that is a great deflector, and that is a great way to, like, maybe coax some people into doing this. Of just like, we're doing this for fun. We're just attacking subjects, like with jokes.
And it's a good perspective to have, especially going into a championship where I think everybody's going to be hyper focused on winning and losing. The win is these guys are going.
Yeah,
I think we all won already. You know what I'm saying? We've all won already, making it. We're all 3 champions of our cities. I'm not sure about the last guy yet, but I know all 3 of us are champions, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun. It's going to be
fun.
I
like how you guys are wearing caps over your head in solidarity for Nate's bald head.
Yeah.
Not to show off your luxurious hair both of you have.
I'm the only one that did my hair today. No, but like what y'all was just saying about like the stuff about going up there and talking about your friend. Like me and Andrew didn't know each other before we went to Austin. We met the night before, but we became friends that night.
Yeah.
And now we're cool. So like I really like, being able to finally battle him as a friend now as opposed to just a dude who I got to fight.
Yeah, for sure. And, we did it last year in Denver. We're doing it this year. Everybody's getting out there a few days early. We're gonna go out, have some pints, and just kind of hang. And that friendship energy, I think, is important.
Oh yeah, you guys haven't seen the happy hours out there. It's like fucking spring break.
Oh my God,
Jay, tell them about the happy hours. They're crazy. Doing it hits 5 o'clock.
I don't remember any of them.
Oh my God, yeah. So yeah, the first time I saw Happy Hour in London, it was like a line out the door. I was like, it was like a vinyl signing or something, like album signing. Like, no, it's Happy Hour. It's 5 o'clock. Everybody's off work. They're all in dresses and suits, and they're just like drinking outside, just having the best time. I'm like, what is this?
Great.
Yeah, you're gonna love this shit.
Yeah,
bro.
it sounds like New Orleans.
Oh
I
my
love
god,
that.
It is like New Orleans in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm liking more and more I hear about London, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
it's your motherland.
Let's meet the last battler who's going to be in London, and he couldn't be here today because in his time zone it's 8 p.m. and he's out doing a show. But this is a guy that captivated audiences this entire season. And I think was in a lot of ways the star of the league because he kind of came out of nowhere. I'm talking about Scotland's Jack Traynor. He is our fourth participant.
Captain Jack.
We needed someone there who would be more difficult to understand than Nate, and Jack was the guy. I want to talk to all you guys about Jack, but first let's watch a battle of his. This was his only battle last season. Did one battle last year. It was number 1 on the countdown. That was his entire season. This year he came back. He did 8 battles, and now he is going to be representing Scotland, going for the World Championship against the guy who this battle is against the guy who represented Scotland in the World Championship last year. Jack Traynor versus Ryan Cullen. Nice. Here it is.
Woo! Yeah! Who put Lord Voldemort in the tumble dryer? Who gave Mr. Burns access to the baby filter on Instagram? Ryan Cullen looks like the kind of Will Smith found peace with at the end of I Am Legend.
Okay, good start. Jack Traynor is what you get if you mash all of the Rugrats together. Jack looks like he would rape hitchhikers in his truck if only he could see over the steering wheel. The closest thing Jack will get to a woman is being misgendered from the back.
Call me Jacqueline now. Ryan once turned down sex with a porn star because he was having too much fun on a night out. I've not seen a person that scared of having sex since I locked the bedroom door closed on his mum last night. Ryan looks like the alien that abducted me. Apparently Ryan's Irish. I know, I didn't know Roswell was a border town either.
Well done.
Roswell's a border.
Jack looks like he cuts his hair with a windmill. Jack, if you're here, who is storming the Capitol building in DC? It's very brave of Jack to be here, you know, especially halfway through transitioning into a 46-year-old lesbian.
Ryan has the same facial structure and immune system as Alexander Litvinenko. Ryan was hated so much by his parents that his first steps were the ones in front of the orphanage. Cheers. Ryan's kept up with the family tradition of terrorism. Shame it's only vibe terrorism and he'll ruin a family gathering instead of blowing himself up.
I can't explain it, but Jack looks like his parents used the contents of an ashtray as lube. I can't believe that you're even trying to be a comedian. The only time this man will be on TV is talking about the secrets of Area 51. He looks like a Sims version of Joe Exotic. The Tiger King. Jack was a top athlete in school. He was the champion needle and spoon racer.
If you saw Cullen without his top on, you'd be surprised he's not vegan. Ryan looks like he gives himself food poisoning recreationally.
You can sponsor Cullen for a £4 a month, which is coincidentally how much that weighs.
Oh, fuck me. Jack is part of the Wholesome Prison Blues Collective, a group of comics who perform in various prisons across Scotland. Jack fucking loves doing that gigs because it's the only time he gets to spend time with his father. Just a little insight to this. Kieran Bartlett and Mickey Bartlett had to drop out. Okay, Kieran got very, very sick just before the show, so this is a very much a last minute, battle. And I asked Jack, Jack, do you have any information on yourself that I can use? And Jack, one of the messages Jack wrote was, I was really into gangster rap at an early age. So much so that when my mother found one of my raps, she submitted it of evidence of a complex learning difficulties to the government so that she could claim more benefits. Now, I've read my uncle's suicide note, and that was way, way less sad than that fucking shit.
Oh, that's so fucking true. Looking at Ryan, you wouldn't think it's been 270 years since the potato famine. When I found out Ryan's dad was in the RA, he had to correct me. Apparently it's some Republican army, not Rapists Anonymous. If you want to see Cullen's show this year, he's doing a tribute act called Sinead O'Connor. Cheers, Daniel. And apparently Ryan took a bribe from his university to leave his course, so with that information I'll just do us all a favour. Give this comedy shit a rest, mate.
I'll take that. Yeah, Jack, you were actually born to do comedy. Specifically, my name is Earl. Jack's so ugly he can sense earthquakes before they happen. Jack genuinely stuttered Mandarin in China.
Wait.
Yeah. Just so he could be with the people of the same height. Even though Jack's actually been to Wuhan, he actually genuinely looks like he's the patient zero for mad cow disease. That's me done.
That's me.
There it was, Jack Trainer versus Ryan Cullen. His only battle last year. He came out. He was this guy that obviously was very funny, but more than anything, you're like, wow, what a fun target. It was the number one battle. We didn't hear from him again. I don't think coming into the season, I had any idea what we were in for. This guy came out of nowhere, had arguably the battle of the year against Shalaka, which ended in a tie. It was just like the focal point of the season, I feel like a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, just, seeing Ryan Cullen last year just kind of dominate. You didn't really think of anybody else in Scotland, right? And then all of a sudden, Kyle Samuel, Jack Trainer, that was the first one I can remember. I was like, whoa, who are these two?
Yeah.
And specifically, who is this long-haired cat with the glasses who looks like Chucky from Rugrats? Jack Trainer, and then he just dominates all season, right? Has maybe the battle of the year between Shalaka Karup, who's arguably could be MVP this season because she was last season.
She'll be in the running for sure.
I mean, he was head and shoulders above everybody, and even seeing Ryan Cullen in person and how good he is of just like the way he writes, the way he performs, the way he roast battles, to beat that guy, to go against that guy head to head, had that performance he had, and then to beat him this season as their MVP. It says a lot about Jack Trainer.
Yeah. Hell of a year. Also, we alluded to it before, how we talked about how Jay has fun on stage. Nobody is having more fun than Jack. Jack embodies what roast battles should be to me. And this is why I like that the MVP awards are not decided strictly by record. Sometimes you have a guy like Andrew who's undefeated and undeniable. Jack Trainer was 4-3-1. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like he was beating everybody. He was just having the best battles all the time, and very well deserved. I want to ask Jay Yamaki. Jack can't be here today to talk about this, but when you found out that
Yeah, tell him to text it.
When you found out that you were going up against Jack, how familiar were you with his style, and what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I mean, you can't ignore Jack, right? He's just been so funny. Just the whole way, the look, the delivery, and not just that, but the quality of his jokes. Like the fact that he looks like he's having so fun just elevates these already good jokes into a higher plane. So when I was, there was talk, I think earlier on in the season, people say, oh, if you're going to send someone over to represent Scotland, do you want to send Ryan Cullen? You don't want to, because if you send Jack, it's going to, I don't think that's true. It might have been true back then, but right now he's just getting funnier and funnier and funnier. He's really getting into a groove. He's getting into a swing, and he's going to be really tough as an opponent. So that's why I was saying all that bullshit earlier about just having fun. It's because I think I'm going to lose to Jack.
Yeah. What do you think about the strategy of going into this thing and being like, oh, I'm just happy to be here, I'm going to lose?
I think he's saying that because he doesn't want to give Jack any bulletin board material. Sure. Right? Obviously they're polar opposites. They have the same hair length, but Jack is probably 2 feet shorter than Jay. He can definitely see over whatever Jack's going to do. But Jay's got the language advantage. They understand him a little more.
What's funny is, Jack is difficult to understand, but what I find myself doing sometimes is he'll say something and it takes me an extra half second to work out exactly what it was, and sometimes it somehow makes it even funnier. I don't know. I might be alone in that. I might be completely crazy.
We'll start calling it the 5-second tape delay.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's going to be a very visually interesting battle. I think these guys are both great battlers, great targets. I'm really excited to see it. Nate, if you had to handicap that one, Jay versus Jack, because you're going into this thing. It's not just Andrew Manning. Yeah. Obviously, you have to write for him. You have to write for both of the other guys as well.
I got to write for both of them because after I beat Andrew, I got to battle one of them.
Well, regardless, winning or losing,
I got to battle one of them.
Championship battle, third place battle. You have to prepare for everybody.
If I beat Andrew, I battle the winner of that battle. If I lose to Andrew, I battle the loser of that other battle. Right? Yes. Dude, I don't know how to call that. That's straight down the fucking middle to me. Because they are both clearly the funniest, and they both are the MVPs for a reason. They're both hilarious. I watched this shit all year. I've been seeing this shit all season. Both of them are fucking hilarious. If I had to call it, it depends. Because I feel like Jay said he doesn't think he has a home field advantage in London. I would kind of put it more. I would say he would. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand him. Mm-hmm. Jack is, like you said, the flavor of his voice and shit, but. They're both funny dudes. I would probably call it, if I had to guess, I would call it Jay Yamaki's going to win. That's my thing. Not just because he's here and Jack ain't. I think Jack's hilarious. I think if Jack comes out there, and he could easily just fucking Hadouken his ass and knock him out. But if looking at it on paper, Andrew's the favorite against me. I think, you said his record's 4-3-1 or whatever. He's only lost twice, once to you and once to whoever else. I think he's the favorite on paper.
So your predicted path to the championship, Nate Welch beats Andrew Manning, Nate Welch beats Jay Yamaki.
Yeah, Andrew Manning and then his British cousin.
Ooh. Yeah, I was going to say I'm not sure I see it, but then I looked at the beanies. You kind of nailed it. Yeah. Kind of nailed it this time. Andrew, what about you? It's a little bit extra challenge, I feel like, because when you're doing a rematch this close to the original one, which I don't like to do, but in this case it was unavoidable, you have to write 5 new great jokes for Nate, knowing that you already spent a lot of time thinking about them and picked your 5 best. Now you got to go back to the drawing board, but you also have to prepare for these 2 guys. Do you anticipate that being stressful, or are you not worried about it?
I'm taking it, I think, seriously. I respect the joke rating of everybody that's on this podcast right now. So I'm in the same boat as Nate, though. So we're both coming at it off of a roast against the other person. And as for roasting, Jay versus Jack, I'm going to take that seriously as well. And just, I think that between Jay and Jack, you didn't ask, but I do think that could be a toss-up because, like Jay was saying, I think that the English kind of would like to see somebody take the piss out of one of their own countrymen.
He's already acclimated.
He's been Googling, yeah.
They would love to watch some fucking, Scottish ogre make fun of a, skinny Englishman. But of course it could go either way, same with our battle,
Very diplomatic.
One last thing on why I think Jay over Jack is because Jack, I noticed that Scotland's style is they have so many jokes. He reads a lot. He's gonna have to learn not to read for the thing.
First, I think he looks like he's gonna have to learn to read.
That's what I'm saying. But he always be reading. So I'm like, trying.
Yeah. It was an interesting thing last year where Ryan came in and adapted his style to the more American. Instead of doing, 5-6 jokes per turn, and even in that battle, they were only doing 3, which I think 3 is like manageable. It's still a little on the high side, but in Scotland they do 6-7 jokes a
turn.
So Ryan came in, had to not read off of his phone last year and adapt his whole style. That's a really good point. Jack's going to have to make that adjustment as well.
But like you said, I mean, Jack, you can't ignore him unless you give him advance notice of a podcast and expect
It's about the angles they're going to take. I mean, these are the best, in the business right now. These are, this is the Final Four, the Ferocious Four. So, it's really about the angles they're going to take because they all kind of know who they are, what they look like. It's going to be about getting to know each other and probably putting those finishing touches on probably some of the jokes they're going to be doing when they meet each other.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see creatively what Jack's going to do with Yamaki there, part of the Brighton Buyers Club.
That one I get.
Right? It's the gay city in the UK. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. And then Andrew's a serial killer. So I'm excited to see what he's going to say about these 3 guys.
I love how you're like, that's all I know.
I don't want to.
I've been to England, but the only thing I remember is the gay part of town.
Well, yeah, because when they took us down to Southampton, they're like, oh, just don't go to Brighton if you're not gay. Because I was like, oh, it's probably nice over there. Like, yeah, it's nice, but it's gay. And I'm like, all right, it's probably sweet over there. Like,
dude.
Yeah, it's sweet. Don't go over there. I was like, all right, they have a good football club, but don't go there.
Okay.
It's like they're San Francisco. And I was like, all right. So anyway, Jay looks gay.
Here in America, the gay part of town is where you want to go, regardless of who you're trying to
exactly.
fuck.
It seems like just the safest place, the best infrastructure. Yeah. Is that? Yeah. I know you're in Japan now, so you know all about infrastructure and safety. But did you ever go to Brighton when you were in?
Yeah, best fish and chips in the country, man.
See?
That I've ever tasted. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
If I can just be a stereotypical Brit for a second.
Best fish and chips are in Brighton. Yeah, and the best anal.
Yeah, I was gonna say over there they only eat fish, chips, and ass.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fun!
Brighton catching strays on RBL Weekly
for no reason. I hate that you drag me into this every week.
Yeah,
you always have me saying "fuck you" to somebody I've never met before.
Fentanyl this and Ozempic
I
that.
know.
Ass eating this.
I know. I'm advertising auto blows. My mom is she's not thrilled with any of this. Well, listen, we got to get out of here. I'm going to turn this over real quick, put 30 seconds on the clock for each person. I want closing thoughts, and then we're going to get out of here. We'll start with the man across the room from me here, Nate Welch.
30 seconds. I just want to say thank y'all to y'all for everything y'all have done for this shit, bro. This shit is awesome. I love it. I'm very honored and excited to fucking be representing this city in the World Championship against the other 3 best in the world in their respective cities. I can't wait. I'm going to open up a whole case of whoop ass on all of them in London. I'm going to stomp their dicks or vaginas or whatever they got in the dirt. And that's the bottom line because Nasty Nate said so.
Damn, with 3 seconds left on the clock. Very impressive. Andrew Manning, take us away. 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to Nate stomping everybody's vaginas into the dirt in England. Thank you. This is great. And to the roasters and also, RBL, you guys have put something fucking incredible together here. You're taking comics overseas. That's a phenomenal opportunity. That's really cool. That being said, like in the words of a great comedian, I'd like to also open up a can of whoop ass overseas. So I'll leave it there.
There'll be lots of whoop ass served overseas in addition to the fish and chips. Fish, chips, and whoop ass. Jay Yamaki, what are your closing thoughts?
For me, it's a huge opportunity to just go and have some fun with some of the greatest comedians in the world. And nothing more to say than that. Just cheers.
I love that. It is. It's gonna be an RBL party, man. We got people coming from all over the place.
And I'll speak on behalf of Jack.
Yeah.
There you go. That's Jack.
Was that the Mandarin that he learned?
I never understand it.
Oh my God, it's gonna be a big party, man. January 26th at the Top Secret Comedy Club, the Kingsway location. That's the bigger one. If you're in the area, make sure you get your tickets. We want to sell this thing out. We want to put on the biggest RBL show that we've ever had. I want to thank my guests for joining us. Congratulations to all you gentlemen. Really looking forward to this thing. And yeah, I got nothing else.
Dude, Nate Welch, Andrew Manning, Jay Yamaki, Jack Trainer, your MVPs, your Final Four, roastbattleleague.com for tickets. Let's roll!